Yeah, it makes sense. Makes sense. Dennis, my man.
Oh, man.
No fishing this week, huh?
I'm leaving Saturday.
Well, hold on. First of all, happy hour to you.
Happy hour to you, too.
Yes.
Happy hour.
Happy hour.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. I'm thrilled, in fact. I am. I may not look it. I may not act it. You may not believe it, but it's true.
Well,
it's true.
Maybe you could try a little harder to emote the joy that you feel.
Try a little harder to show how much you love me. Try a little harder to show how much you care. You just sit there like some old gray mushroom. You just sit there growing old and colder every day.
Gray mushroom. Wow. Cool, man.
Old Man River.
Oh, God.
That must be where that came from. As a songwriter I know told me, there is no song that doesn't start with some other song. He said it's impossible. I
saw today that for the first time in 50 years, the federal government of the U.S. has allowed research into psilocybin and magic mushrooms and stuff, like at Harvard or something.
Huh.
That's promising.
It's Timothy Leary's grandson, Zebo Leary, who thinks that his real name is Zone Out, but he translates it into a different language created by his dad.
Hey, man, that's a world that exists out there.
Hey, man. Hey, man. Ooh. Lean on me, man. Oh, I need some help. Lean on me, man.
We're getting musical this evening.
Well, I'm playing music tonight, so I guess I'm getting in the mood. I'm going down to O'Duffy's Bar and Grill in Kalamazoo, just the nicest and oldest Irish pub. Of course, if you're the oldest, and then you must be the oldest and nicest because there's no competition. But it is nice. And as I've said, Smittix on tap. And Out of Favor Boys duet playing tonight. Last night of the fall. 5 fire pits out in the patio. Several mushroom-shaped heating units.
Again, we're back to the mushrooms.
Yes. These are not. These are silver, not gray. Silver.
Okay.
And I'm actually bringing my own kindling, cardboard, paper, to the event, so I can build a robust fire, because they have paltry kindling there. So you have a bunch of people trying to use a match to light a fucking log. So there's a lot of smoke.
Fires where they don't allow you to bring your own flammable materials. Like, why even go? Right.
Like
you need to,
I even have my own carrying case.
You have your own carrying case for your kindling.
Yeah.
Because you never know when you're going to be on the go. You're a business guy.
It's a big suitcase. You
never know when you need to start a fire somewhere.
It's a big suitcase lined with black plastic and stapled into it, and even has a little pouch in it for flammables. Yeah. I carry it with me wherever I go.
I mean, look.
I won't be caught cold.
Exactly, right? It's like you gotta have dry, flammable material and some way to ignite it at all times.
Yes.
I imagine airplane carry-on situation, sir.
They let me through. They don't know
with all this kindling, sir.
They let me through. They don't let me through.
It's lighter fluid. Oh, it's less than so many fluid ounces.
What is this stuff? I say it's just wood. It's just scraps of wood that I need when I land, when I go to my hotel. And they say, oh, okay, whatever. Each to his own.
How many times have you flown somewhere and the hotel says the heating's out and you have to start your own fire in your own hotel room? It's like, every other time.
I'm not one of those that as some do, start the fire on the nylon carpeting and then leave. No, I cut a patch out, and I actually have folding asbestos cloth.
Of course.
In the suit. Oh, yeah.
It folds so nicely.
I lay that down, build it up, and I also have in there a very big umbrella, like a golfing umbrella that's really big.
What's that for?
I've modified it, and at the very top, where the pointy part comes out of the mesh, the stem, I've cut a hole about 6 inches in diameter, and then I have an inflatable tube.
Yes.
That collapses very small. That
right.
Tube large enough to run to the window, so that hangs from the ceiling over the fire.
Because otherwise, the hotel room gets so smoky you can barely sleep.
No. And you might have seen these little fans that are big enough to hold in your hand, put in your jacket of your suit coat or whatever. I carry one wherever I go, a fan.
Right.
Of course, if you're going to go around needing to build a fire, and there's no wind,
obviously,
breeze. So that, I use a little bit of duct tape, and I tape that to the top of the umbrella, and it sucks the smoke right out and blows it out of the room.
Right.
And when I leave, they call me and thank me.
Right. Because all the other guests have like there's soot all over the walls.
Yeah,
and stuff.
They just light a fire. They don't care.
Stupid.
They don't use kindling. They use the phone book. Yellow pages.
So
yellow
fires
pages
are the worst.
Yellow pages burn red.
Huh. Who knew?
I knew.
Don't think there's that yellow stuff is toxic to breathe in. I think. It's like cyanide or something, but
that's why it's red. That's why it's red. It's red. Red is danger.
Red.
Red is danger. Red is the devil's color. I see you're wearing red tonight. Are you still a devil worshiper? When did you quit being a devil worshiper? Or did you quit?
No, I couldn't say I'm a devil worshiper again because I never really left the church.
I noticed that ever since you had your prosthetic ankle removed from your forehead, that clean, wide expanse of a forehead, wider than it looks. You could have a fucking skating rink on your forehead. It's so big. You could, if you kicked a field goal from your eyebrow to the back of your hair, it would be the longest field goal in NFL history. That's how big that is. But I notice 2 little bumps coming up. What are they? A quarter of an inch?
So it's my getting a little horny. It's
Are you on a Rodriguez?
No, I'm not. I am about to send my parents off back to the States tomorrow.
Hey, December 3rd. Write it down. I want to see your arm move like you're writing a note. December 3rd. Write it down.
Yeah.
Your air writing?
What am I writing? What's my motivation here? What's the backstory?
It's not for you to know at this point. I just want you to write it down.
Okay, I have it memorized.
All these questions. There's so little you do. I carry all the weight. I ask you to do a little something. One thing. I do everything.
Could there be an easier date in the American way of writing dates than 1, 2, 3?
No.
I got it, bro. It's not even that. It's 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. For fuck's sake, it's a palindrome. I got it. I don't have to write it down, man. It's up here, man, between my horns.
1, 2, 3, 2, 1.
I know, right? What?
1, 2. Hey.
Yeah.
So.
Hey.
Two things.
What's the date about?
Just I'll tell you later. Remind me later. So this is a momentous time in our review category of reviewing series because 3 series that we've talked about all ended this past week. All ended. Billions ended their season. Letitia, which you've never seen, ended its season. And that movie is such a bummer. It is so somber.
Letitia.
It's so terrible. Letitia. Oh my God. Awful. And not awful. If it was awful, I wouldn't have watched it.
But awful in a good way. Yeah.
Terrible subject. Terrible. No, not terrible in a good way. Terrible, but a fascinating movie. There's nothing.
Right.
It's a good movie, so I suppose you're right about that.
Schindler's List.
Scenes from a Marriage.
Did that finish?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm behind on that. Because I've had guests. I have not had
You
any
refer to your parents as guests?
TV
That's
time to
nice.
myself.
I suppose if they were in the hospital, you refer to them as patients.
If I had any more patients. Yeah. So I've been entertaining in a way that is
Entertaining.
And
Did you play guitar? Did you guys sing and play some music?
I played a little bit. I let my father play my Telecaster electric, which is he enjoyed. That was his first time with an electric guitar. But yeah, I have not had any free time to consume any media. But I promise I will get back on.
And you're way behind on Billions, but the thing that I want to talk about Billions eventually is a little bit certainly about it, but also about next season, because that is taking a fascinating turn. Okay. I'll say that to whet your appetite. And of course, and the other one that isn't over yet, that is in its but final episode, is American Rust, which has now developed into such a complicated web of interwoven backstories that has Jeff Daniels' character, the sheriff, in the most vulnerable position. And his acting has become unbelievable.
He seemed pretty vulnerable. Like he was playing that guy from the start. But I look forward to filling in the rest of the story. But again, I've done so little homework that TV is not what we can talk about this week.
But you did send me the SNL brutal marriage, which was pretty funny. But the what's his name? Rami
Malek. Yeah.
Rami Malek. I sent you a Wow movie to see with our pal Casey Affleck.
Yes.
Which I know you haven't seen that.
Again.
But what I want you to pay attention with that is the appearance of one Rami Malek in the series. But also, more importantly, more broadly, is I want you to think and examine and then be able to talk about the screenplay and how it used time, which is oft subject of ours.
Yes, I'm already doubly intrigued than I was before you said the word time.
But Affleck, of course, he's just the best.
He's good.
And the actress, who I'm not familiar with, who I am now, is equally stunning. And the other lead is, oh shit, I sent it to you in the email, but he always...
Ben Foster.
Ben Foster. He usually plays, in my view, always plays a nefarious character. And in this movie, it takes you a long time to get over that because he's not. But you can't, it's just, and maybe that's the intent. Of course, he plays a law enforcement officer who's sniffing around about criminal activities.
Okay, so for the listener, this is a movie called Ain't Them Bodies Saints.
Ain't Them Bodies Saints.
A 2013 American romantic crime drama film written and directed by David Lowery.
And I will tell you this, that
Link in the show
I'll
notes.
save this, but I also, as we speak about the screenplay and the time and the direction, et cetera, around temporal analyses, is it will circle back to David Lowery and this, I believe, his directorial debut. So, debut. Montana.
Debut. Yeah. He's a young feller, aged 40.
Was.
No, currently.
Currently?
Yeah.
He was really young then, because it's several years old.
Yeah, exactly. So his original, this was his original work.
I wonder what he's done since then. I was intrigued.
Not that much. Some things, but
I was intrigued.
not as much as his debut.
So, December 3rd.
1, 2, 3, 2, 1.
I want you to spend the long weekend in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Yeah, when I inquired about golfing things, I was told that's
off the table for now.
Yeah.
This isn't about golfing. This is about being at the beach at a friend's.
Oh, is this the thing that your wife always gets away for?
No, this is nothing of the kind. This is me and a couple of our Buddhas, one of which has a place on the water in Topsail, and they're getting together for a birthday weekend. Just 4 guys.
And you're inviting me as well?
You're the 4th.
Man, yeah,
You're the surprise guest.
Yeah, I'm certainly surprised.
You'll certainly be surprised if you go.
Yeah, the chances of that happening are, I don't know. I'll look into the plane tickets.
The other three to entice you.
Okay.
John, Paul, and Danny.
Okay.
And
the apostles.
Probably Jeff.
So, all the apostles. Yeah, dang. That's enticing.
And I'd invite Phil, too, so it's a music weekend. We need somebody who's got talent.
Speaking of which, let me pour myself a little wiki.
Oh, you got that stuff from southern Spain?
California.
Oh, California, right, from your new employer.
Yeah. But what I want to show you is my glass.
Wow.
Apparently there's a minion named Phil.
Don't know him. That's him?
Do you know about minions?
No.
Oh, wow. Your grandkids aren't old enough. It's just a stupid cartoon thing where there's these little yellow people that talk these pseudo-English minions. It's a property of, I want to say, Universal City Studios. Anyway,
is that his name, Phil?
Yeah, there's one guy named Phil. There's only like 2 of them that are named, and they all talk like you do.
Why are you drinking out of a glass that has Phil's picture and name on it? Have you become Phil? Are you going by Phil now?
No, because we get all of our juice glasses as part of, they come filled with Nutella chocolate spread crap, and then we wash them, and they serve the perfect size for
that really is crap. You're right.
Yeah, I don't buy it, but someone buys it for the kids, and then we end up with these juice glasses.
Someone unnamed. Hey, so why is your window at a slant on the left of you there? On the left, you're right, my left. Why is that slanted there?
Because of the roof. This whole part of my dining room is slanted.
In your new...
No, this is my old place. These are the flowers that I got for my wife for our anniversary.
Why are you back in your old place?
Because my folks are sleeping in the new place.
Oh, I thought they left.
They will in 6 hours.
About time.
Yeah, so anyway, then I'll be back in my new studio.
I see.
But until then, Phil.
Nutella.
If my name was Phil, I changed my last name to like Ossify.
Or Nutella.
Or Harmonic. Or Anthropic.
Me up.
Yeah, there you go. So there we are.
My hole.
Mr. Michael, would you like to
My
have a
hole.
seat?
Fill my hole. That's bad. That's bad.
You're a 13-year-old at heart. That's fine. Good for you.
Yeah. Oh, that was good. I'll have another.
Yeah.
So, I got the Smittix chilled on ice.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, I'm heading to the Muskegon River on Saturday.
Okay. You're going to be back in time to record for next week, right?
Yes, I'm only going over. May go overnight, probably not. Early morning to late at night is probably in a couple of naps to make that work.
Right.
Muskegon River is one of the warmest rivers in Michigan. And as a result of that, the fish, the salmon, who run from where they've been living in the stream back to where they hatched, swimming upstream to spawn and then die.
As we do.
They don't move much until the water temperature drops below 60 degrees. So while all the other rivers have dropped and the salmon have not only run, but pretty much run their course, the theory I'm working from is that's not the case with the Muskegon River. But more importantly, even if it is, after salmon run, and you've got the pictures, you can imagine when those salmon lay their eggs, which are voluminous.
I ate some salmon raw yesterday.
Was it raw with salt?
At a Japanese place. I ate raw sashimi salmon and their eggs. So
and so
it was very
sometimes
salty.
When we catch a female and we pick it up, as the camera is rolling, it is spewing eggs like spurting water from a faucet. Just thousands and thousands of eggs.
You just hold it up your mouth and catch them in your mouth?
That's kind of gross. But when they're in the river and they do that, those eggs are eaten as quickly as you would imagine by other species of fish.
I was just imagining it.
That are swimming right behind them, waiting for the opportunity.
With their mouths open.
Those are steelhead trout or brown trout. A brown trout of which I sent you a couple of really amazing
Our last
pictures.
episode was titled How Now Brown Trout. So
How now brown trout.
Yes.
And so, either way, I can probably do some decent fishing because of the water temperature. However, the river is reportedly deep and relatively fast, and also very much surrounded by private property. And so the good money is to hire a guide and let the guide bump you down the river, which I may do the next time I go. But I feel like for a day trip where I've already located a couple of places that are recommended for wading, few places that are recommended for wading. And so I'm going to
wading being walking into the river.
Yes, so when the river's too deep or too fast, you can't do that. The Kenai River in Alaska, which I mentioned, is so fast that if you stepped in it, even though you might be in a shallow part that's only knee deep, it will sweep you away. It will sweep you away. It's moving stones and boulders down the river. The current is so fast. In the boat that I was in, which was a shallow hull boat, very large hull on it, only drew about 6 inches of water, right? So only sank into the water, if you will, 6 or 8 inches with 4 men in it, because it's so wide and flat bottom.
Sure.
That is that, and very elegantly shaped with a full rising bow in the front of it. That when that 14, 16-foot boat went down the river, it was going so fast that it would make you fucking dizzy.
Wow.
And when we got into a current and we had a fish on, we went around in circles.
Nice.
In circles. And at one point, as I stood on the cover of the hull that has literally a 4-inch lip on it. So I'm standing, I can only say trapeze-like on the front of this hull.
Yes.
As the boat is spinning around in the current, and I have on a 16, 18-pound fucking trout. And I brought it in. And there's pictures. But that's, vertigo. Alfred Hitchcock. Where was he? Where was he? Jimmy Stewart should have been, no, just wait a minute now. Just you can't just
get back in the boat.
Say what you want. Get back in the boat, you scurvy spider.
So you're going to do some more fishing?
I'm going to Muskegon. I'm going to try my luck.
But you switch into walking.
It's time to do. It's time to do it. I can't wait another minute longer. I can't wait.
So you're going to do the same thing where you pull the fish out briefly and then plop them back in.
Yeah. Although that's not required here. It is where I was fishing in the Salmon River. If I would catch a decent steelhead, I might bring it, or a coho, which is a silver real silverfish. Very great eating, but the coho are so much fun. They're smaller, but they are tail dancers. And so 100% of the time, when you have one on, it will jump out of the water and it will dance on its tail in the water. And that will usually result in it breaking off and escaping with a fly somewhere stuck in its head and about a 9-foot hunk of fucking line dangling from the fly. But, you know, it wasn't my idea. Yes, it was.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's an adventure. I'm going out by myself. I talked to the better half about it tonight. She seems supportive. And
About getting you out of the house.
yeah, the manner of speaking. The other thing I did, and this will be for an ongoing saga in 2021, 2022 as the calendar turns,
Saga.
is that I am creating an ice fishing tour of Michigan.
Ooh.
I'm going to be driving 3.5 hour distances to go to some of the best ice fishing for what fish? What's the best fish to eat? This. If you don't know this, there will be trouble. What's the best eating fish?
Shit, you said this last episode.
You are
Not
so...
trout. It's not trout.
Oh,
It's
walleye.
walleye. That's what I was going
Walleye,
to say.
Jesus.
This is
Otherwise...
whenever I ask my kids a thing that they've been studying, they'll often say, "Oh, it's right on the tip of my tongue. Right on the tip of my tongue. As soon as you say it, I'm going to know it." And I'm like, that means you don't fucking know it. If you knew it, you wouldn't have to hear me say it and then say it.
You almost know it.
Yes, walleye, man.
So imagine
Editing Eric is going to make me look so clever.
Imagine using an electric drill to drill a 10-inch hole in 3 foot of ice. 3 foot.
Wait, 10-inch
dropping a
hole
line down,
in 3 foot
10-inch
of
hole.
ice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
10-inch hole. And attaching a line to it that is attached to a pole that is only about 16 inches.
What do you do with the cylinder? Does you drill down and you just thump that cylinder down underneath, or?
No, it's a drill, so it chops the ice up.
Okay, so you end up with a bunch of...
Just like a drill, when you drill, the refuse that comes up, because the drill is in fact...
So you got all your crushed ice for your margaritas and stuff.
Well, yes, if indeed. But it almost goes without saying that the drink that's generally prescribed is cheap red wine. Oh, ice fishing with cheap red wine.
Why is that one said?
I don't know. It's
weird.
Historical. I grew up ice fishing, and whenever we were there, my dad and my uncles had red wine that they made, and it was always alcoholic, good content, and good, and not sweet.
No.
Elderberry with a tart taste to it. Elderberry wine. Oh, God. Oh, yeah, baby.
That's not grapes.
Elderberry's not grapes. Elderberry's, as you might guess, a fucking elderberry. If it was grape, it'd be called grape. It's an elderberry.
Oh.
Elderberry. Not elder. Not like an old berry.
No.
Hey, do you know Barry from up the road? Oh, that old guy? Yeah.
Elderberry.
The elderberry. Or do you mean his son? No, that's why I say the elderberry.
That makes sense now. So you dig this... Okay. First of all, do you set up like a shelter around the spot where you're going to drill the hole?
Good question. And so...
No, I've seen movies. So
what I want you to picture is a 5 foot wide square piece of plywood.
Yep.
That's got 2 holes in it. 5 foot by probably 6 foot. Okay? Plywood with 2 holes in it. And
what
then
are the holes for?
Hey, don't get ahead of the class.
Oh,
under that plywood with the 2 holes in it are a set of skis. And then on that plywood is stapled a nylon tent that goes 6 feet high.
Good.
And lifts. And when you let the top of the tent down, it folds inward to completely match up with the size of the piece of plywood.
I get it.
Strapped to that are 4 poles that break into 3 pieces that are connected by nylon string that you would ordinarily use for a tent, which this is, of course, a tent on skis. And then strapped on top of there is a cooler.
Tent.
And strapped on top of the cooler is an electric drill. And that sled then has a long
Battery
rope
powered.
that has, yes.
You're not plugged into an outlet somewhere.
It's two tow ropes, 1 for each man.
For each toe?
You go out, you drill your holes exactly the distance from the holes that are in the plywood. You remove the ice, the chips. You shovel it away. There's also a shovel strapped to it.
Save it for your daiquiris.
Then you pull the skis over the top. You line up the holes. You pull out the cooler. You raise the tent. You put in the 4 poles. You unzip the zipper.
Wait, how is
climb
it?
in.
How do you stop it from drifting?
Drifting? It's on ice.
Yeah, but the wind doesn't push you around?
It weighs 180 pounds.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
And if you were concerned, you would attach it with ice brackets, ice, what are they
Picks, daggers,
Sticks.
daggers,
Ice
sticks.
sticks.
Yes.
Other new, you could go on with the questioning.
Well, no.
Then you climb in the tent, and also
That must be a happy moment when you finally get in there.
well, you're sweaty by that point because
Well.
you've been working. And then
You smell great.
the other thing that you have strapped when you pull up that tent, inside the plywood floor is a bench that is on hinges that folds to the floor. So when you raise the tent, you open the hinges, you snap them into place like a folding table, then you have a place to sit, and then you reach into your pocket and you pull out the world's smallest heater, and you reach in your other pocket and you pull out the world's smallest expandable frying pan.
Uh-huh.
You reach in your front pocket.
Expandable frying pan?
Yes.
How?
It's in 4 pieces and it folds up.
Okay, curious about that.
So it's almost like a waffle maker in the way that it's constructed. When you put a waffle in a waffle maker, the fact that it's hinged
Yes.
doesn't mean that anything leaks out. Do you know why? Because the teeth that join it are solid, uniform, complete.
Okay.
The key
Yes.
to a collapsible frying pan, which I just invented conceptually, by the way, just this moment, is corresponding male-female teeth.
Okay.
I want you to wrap your head around that.
It's pretty sexy. So the
I'm too sexy for my shirt. Too sexy. Did you?
I didn't think we were going to be discussing how ice fishing related to waffle irons, but here we are.
Here we are. And
And
so here's the point. You
So
open
what are you
the
going to
cooler.
fry in those in that?
What do you think is in the cooler, homie? Eggs, bacon, potatoes, butter. Are you kidding me? Bread.
I was thinking elderberry wine, but
No, elderberry wine stays warm, bruh. That's not in the cooler.
wait.
Strap.
Why do you need stuff in the cooler if it's 0 degrees outside? To keep it warm?
Huh. There's a kind
Whoa,
of
man.
issue of,
Guys,
there's kind
blow
of
your
an
mind?
issue of what do you do with it between the refrigerator, the truck, and arriving on the lake?
What happens if your eggs froze and then you wanted to fry them?
That's eating a boiled egg.
Well, if you put a frozen egg on a frying pan, on a folding frying pan, it was warm, it would slowly melt and then turn into white yolk and it
Unspeakable
could be
goo.
fried.
Unspeakable goo. Grotesque.
Unspeakable Goo on the Ice. That's the worst
Unspeakable goo.
Disney special ever. Unspeakable Goo on Ice.
Goo. Unspeakable goo. Unspeakable goo. Unspeakable goo. Who the fuck are you to cook this goo? Who are you? Mr. Magoo is Mr. Magoo cooks unspeakable goo. Who?
Green eggs and unspeakable goo. Thank you for that, Dr. Seuss. So this is a project you're going to do several times over the coming months.
I've
Yes.
invited my brother for the 2022 ice fishing tour.
Okay.
Yes, it's a 6-week tour.
One, but like weekend by weekend.
I'm thinking twice a week.
So you're actually like traveling between them.
Yeah, I think maybe twice a week. Maybe just the weekends. There'd be 6 then, so that could work. But one of them is in Saginaw, Michigan, Lake Saginaw, which is one of the best breeding grounds for walleye. And the idea is you go out and you
Hey,
drill
that's the
5 or
best fish
6.
to eat.
You pass that. You pass that pop quiz in flying
That's
colors.
clever. So you're going to go out to all these different. Wow, that could be exciting.
Are there a lot of lakes where you are in Spain?
Not a lot of lakes, more rivers.
What
There
kind of
are.
fish around in the rivers?
I don't know. Like
Are you friendly with your neighbors?
somewhat.
Do you have a bunch of millennial friends your age?
No,
Do you have any?
not really.
We need to get this house trade thing moving with somebody who lives near you.
Right.
We do. It's for somebody, the right somebody on your end, it would be really attractive.
They need to have a pretty solid understanding of English to hop over to Michigan.
Spanish is the second language here, as you would
Yeah,
guess.
but you couldn't go into any supermarket with only Spanish. I
No.
imagine
No, I was joking about it being
So,
a second language.
it would need some level. But yeah, I don't know. There's a guy in town that walks around all the time with a hoodie that says Michigan on it,
Oh, really?
and I'm like, where did you get that? And he said, I don't know, I bought it in some store somewhere.
Oh,
Like it wasn't. But then he's also the one that comes and tells me he's probably 65 or something. And he says, I've always wanted to go see New York City and the United States. And I don't know, he feels like he can come and tell me these things. He's also the guy that in November 2016, I was walking down the street and he said, hey, you come over here. Or I guess he crossed the street over to me. And he said, I'm so disappointed in your country right now. And I said, fuck it, you and me both, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, did you see who got found in contempt of Congress last night? Stephen K. Bannon.
I remember him.
Contempt. And who Trump pardoned? And he's refusing to testify. And when they do the investigation of they have to find out motive for his contempt. And the motive, of course, can be protection of a person who is responsible for criminal activity.
Gosh.
And that means that Steve Bannon, the target,
Who could that be?
opens the door for Donald Trump, the person of interest.
Yep. Whatever, man. I guess stuff will happen there.
He's going to prison. There'll be blood in the streets, but he's going to prison.
I will see that when I believe it. We'll see.
Well, of course. Of course we will. A horse is a horse, of course, and nothing can tell a horse, of course. That's the course that made you horse is a dog.
Famous Mr.
Wilbur.
Switched into Nixon there for a second.
I am not a crook. I am not a crook.
Wilbur.
I'm not a crook. Then he gives a peace sign as he gets on the helicopter after resigning. What? Peace? Or is that victory? What?
Yeah, neither reply. Yeah, that was the victory sign when Churchill gave it, whatever.
Yes. So it seems to me I saw something else the other day, the tube, that caught my eye. Well, anyway, it escapes me.
I saw a thing today where apparently Billy Joel, for a long time, pre-COVID, Billy Joel was giving concerts at Madison Square Garden every week. Like, he would sell out Madison Square Garden every fucking week because he's just that beloved and could draw those crowds. But apparently, and I verified this is mostly true, he has a policy of not selling the first few rows of seats, because if you sell the first few rows of seats, you end up with a bunch of rich motherfuckers that don't really care about you. They're just rich enough to be able to afford these seats. And instead, what he does is he doesn't sell those seats, and he has his people go up into the shitty seats and find the biggest fans and bring them down into the front rows, because that really brings the energy of performing on stage. Yeah. So anyway,
he's pretty incredible. He's pretty incredible. Well, this has been a song-filled episode, and I'm on a tight schedule.
It's been very melodic.
It's been melodic. Oh. Hey. Stay tuned. In the future.
Yeah.
Not only you finally doing your homework after your weak-ass excuse. Look forward to the fishing tour. Yeah,
yes.
The Michigan Ice Fishing Tour. Also,
because what people come here for is fishing content, and we have been delivering.
Well, fishing and music.
Yeah.
Me and my buddy are going to recreate the B.B. King Christmas album in time, of course, for the holidays. And I said to him the other day, I said, what I like about this album is that it's melodic and extraordinarily comfortable. And he looked at me and he blinked his eyes a couple of times and he said, you know what? I think that is the best way to describe all Christmas music that we love. It's melodic and just really comfortable.
Amen.
Just
work on your technique.
No dancing around. No, you sit down in your chair. Don't move. I got to tell you. No, listen, Beethoven, quit wiggling in your seat. Chopin, sit still. No, you can't shake your legs.
Roll over, Beethoven.
Oh, and you know what?
What?
Tell Tchaikovsky the fucking news, man.
I know.
Loose. Time to break loose.
Fucking swans and shit.
Time to break loose. Roll over, Beethoven.
All right, that's it for episode number 130. You can find the show notes at happyhour.fm/130, all the links to all the stuff that we talked about. And I have a lot of homework to do to watch all of this media that we need to talk about on the next episode. Wish me luck on that. You can help support us at patreon.com/happyhour. We would really appreciate your help. We'll see you next week.